Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Sorry it's taken me so long to upload again, but I've really been struggling with insomnia recently, so I've barely slept for the past, well, several weeks, and I'm really struggling with it at the moment. So, you know, I'm a bit all over the place and yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at a band I have not heard of before, and this again is a Patreon request coming from Bladed Thesis. We are looking at a band called Any Given Sin. Never heard of them. Never even heard a whisper of who the band might be. So of course, as I generally like to do, I had to do a little bit of research. Now I looked at the Wikipedia page and it said bugger all. All it said was this is an American rock band from Maryland, and that was it. That's all it said. But I did have a look around and I found Any Given Sin. Inner struggle incites outward expression. Any Given Sin transfigure conflict into caustic and catchy hard rock punctuated by metallic intensity and alternative intimacy. The Maryland Quartet, Victor Ritchie on vocals, Mike Connor on guitars, Rich Stevenson on bass, and Mike Showalter, hope I pronounced that properly, on drums, encase these unrestrained emotions inside arena-sized anthems with bold hooks and bludgeoning riffs, amassing nearly 22 million streams, buzzing at radio, and building a devout fan base. The group perfect this pummeling and powerful style on their 2023 full-length debut LP, War Within. Over the years, the band's grind yielded major traction as they tirelessly wrote, recorded, and honed a signature sound. In 2021, Another Life generated north of 5.2 million Spotify streams, followed by Dynamite with 4.5 million Spotify streams. Dynamite and Insidious both cracked the top 40 at Active Rock Radio, in addition to catapulting to number 1 on Sirius XM, overtaking the fan-powered Big Guns Countdown. By sharing their trials, tribulations, and triumphs, Any Given Sin ultimately offer a communal catharsis for fans to partake in. When you listen to us, we hope you feel like you're not alone. No matter what you're dealing with, the music shows is a remember that someone hears you. I think it's supposed to say the music shows a reminder that somebody hears you. A lot of it may sound dark and depressing, but there's a positive message. Keep going. And that's a quote from Connor. So we're going to be looking at a track called Calm Before the Storm. I have lyrics here. They come directly from underneath the video on YouTube, so here's hoping that they're going to be accurate. Now, it says they're a rock band, so I'm expecting something that maybe on a bit lighter side than most of the tracks we normally check out on here, because, you know, we normally check out a lot of the heavier side of music. You know, it's mostly metal, but this is rock apparently. So I'm not entirely sure what I should expect going into this, but we shall see what we shall see. So we'll just jump into this and see what we have. So Any Given Sin, Calm Before the Storm. Let's have a look.
I don't give up, I don't wave white flags.
Well, there you go. Calm before the storm by Any Given Sin. Now, the video in itself sends a very powerful message, and it's a very positive one as well. And the song, it's sort of like, doesn't matter what life throws at me, I'm not going to give up, I'm not going to back down, I'm not going to shrink away, I'm not going to like shut myself away from the world because of the way my life is going. You know, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to move forward, you know, I'm going to be, well, you know, there's the line that I am the fire, relentless, undying survivor. So, you know, I'm going to push my way through this no matter what. I'm not going to let life get me down. Now, obviously, the video shows this young lad being relentlessly bullied by these, what appear to be two much older lads, you know, and, you know, they specifically hunted him down, chased him down, and beat him up, you know, took all his stuff out of his bag and threw it around, you know, and just basically beat him up and just left him there and walked away. And then, you know, they're chasing him in their car whilst he's on his bike, you know, and laughing at him after he falls off it. You know, so these people, you know, I've never understood bullies, you know, they're all just... Everybody says, you know, they're cowards and stuff like that, and they are in a way, but there's always a reason behind someone behaving like that, you know, whether it's a troubled family life or something like that. It doesn't excuse what they're doing, but there is more to it than them just being small-minded little... I mean, occasionally you might get somebody who is just pure evil, who is just doing it for the shits and giggles and the enjoyment of it, but for the most part, there's normally a story behind it. I mean, I think I mentioned this a little while ago. About a month or so ago, I got a message from... in fact, I got a friend request on Facebook from a lad that used to torment and bully me when I was at school. And he sent me a friend request. He goes, look, I just wanted to talk to you. I feel really bad about the way that I treated you when we were at school. You know, at school, I was pretty much the only metalhead in the entire school. You know, I had long hair, the leather jacket, you know, all that. And I was pretty much the only one. If there was another one, they disguised it very, very well. You know, and this lad, he was in, like, a lot of my classes. He used to bully me relentlessly. And basically, he was being peer pressured by this other guy who actually turned out to be a drug dealer. He was actually dealing drugs at school. But anyway, you know, he was being peer pressured by this lad, and, you know, he was sort of thing. And, you know, he messaged me a little while ago. He said, look, I feel really bad about the way I treated you at school. You know, it was really wrong of me. I feel really bad about it. And I turned around to him and goes, do you know what, mate? It's fine. This was like... I mean, we're talking 30 odd years ago now. You know, talking like 28, 31, whatever, however many years ago, you know, back in 1991 to 1996, you know. I said, you know what, it was many, many years ago. I've moved past it. I hold no grudges against you, you know. I've faced much worse since then. You know, and I basically turned to him and goes, you know, it's all fine, it's all cool, you know, I forgive you, we're cool. And this is the sort of message that this was showing as well in the video, you know, these two lads relentlessly bullying this other one lad. And, you know, at the end of the video, or towards the end of the video, the two bullies are sitting there in their house, you know, playing games, having fun, and then seemingly a fire breaks out. We only ever saw smoke. I don't think we actually saw fire. You know, and all this smoke's billowing, and the two bullies end up falling unconscious onto the floor. And this young lad that they've relentlessly bullied throughout the video, maybe for several years, sees that the house is filling with smoke, so he goes in and he rescues these two lads. You know, despite how they've treated him, despite the relentless bullying, despite everything they've done to him, he has remained a good man, you know, and even though they were horrible to him, he isn't out for revenge. He's not just going to stand there and go, why the hell should I rescue them after everything they've done to me? He's turned around and gone, I cannot, in all good conscience, let these two people, no matter how bad they've been to me, suffer and possibly die. So he rescues these two lads that have bullied him, and one of them comes to it and sees him standing over them. So there's going to be that moment of realization within that bully. This kid that I've been so cruel to has just saved my life, and this young lad, despite this relentless bullying, hasn't let himself become a cruel and bitter person. He still remains a good man. He's refused to sink to their level. He's refused to become what they were to him. No matter what happened, he still... I'm not going to say became the bigger person, because that sort of indicates, thinking you're better than someone. In my opinion, when you say, I'm being the bigger man and doing this, and I see that as thinking you're above someone else, and it's not a phrase I like to use. But he's stayed a good person regardless of what life's thrown at him. He still maintained a good, personality. He still stayed as a good person. And the lyrics themselves reflect that. It says, I don't give up, I don't wave white flags, never surrender, no quarter to be had. If I said it, I meant it. Better believe I'm making no apologies. So, just those first few lines say everything. I don't give up, I don't wave white flags, I never surrender, no quarter to be had. It's like, no matter what life throws at me, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to sit there and go, do you know what? I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to sit back and just let life pass me by. He's like, I'm not going to wave the white flags. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to surrender. There's no quarter to be had. No, no matter what cruelty is thrown at me, I'm not going to let it gain any ground on me. I'm going to keep pushing it back. If I said it, I meant it. Better believe I'm making no apology. So it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to say what needs to be said. And I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to take back anything I've said, because, I am a strong person. And then it goes into that chorus. I am the fire, relentless, undying survivor. I am the fire. Ready or not, seek shelter in the calm before the storm. So, I'm this burning passion, this raging torrent of flame. It's gonna cause a path of destruction. I'm going to push out everything that's in my way. No matter how cruel it's been to me, I'm going to push through it. I'm going to get past it. I am a relentless, undying survivor. Nothing's going to knock me back. Nothing's going to take me down. It says, ready or not, seek shelter in the calm before the storm. Now, in a way, that kind of doesn't fit with the video in a sense, and let me explain what I mean here, because it says here, ready or not, seek shelter in the calm before the storm. Now, the calm before the storm sort of suggests like the moment of peace before this person goes on, not necessarily a rampage, because that indicates violence sort of thing. It's sort of, well, I mean, calm before the storm, it sort of indicates that they're going to start fighting. They're going to start giving back as good as they got, sort of thing. But in the video, he didn't do that. He didn't sink to the level of revenge, because revenge is very rarely ever worth it. It never makes you feel better. So, in a way, I don't think that kind of fits. I mean, it could just be the calm before the storm. It's like, I'm going to fight back, but not necessarily fight. I'm still going to push forward, and I'm still not going to let anything stand in my way. But I don't know, calm before the storm sort of suggests a more perhaps violent approach. A storm is quite a violent thing. But, in the video, he's not retaliating in any way. He's not necessarily being a storm. He's being a passive person, but a good person. Not even passive, I suppose. He's fighting for himself, but he's not fighting back. And the calm before the storm sort of suggests, the storm suggests fighting back. He's just standing up for himself and moving ever forward. But he's not being aggressive or violent about it. So, in a way, it doesn't quite fit with the video, but it still has a similar sort of meaning. It's like, no matter what happens, I'm still going to forge forward. I'm not going to let anything knock me back. Anyway. Blowing it up because I can't hold back is never enough till there's nothing left to have. Pushing the limit, coming relentless, you better believe I'm making no apologies. So again, blowing it up because I can't hold back. So again, the lyrics here suggesting a more sort of explosive and violent retaliation than is suggested in the video. But, you know, he's saying, you know, blowing it up because I can't hold back, you know, so much pent up emotion from years of torment, bullying, you know, or, you know, just things generally sort of pushing him, trying to knock him down, you know, so all this emotion and, you know, whatnot is bubbling to the surface, and it's going to come flooding forth, you know. He's like, I can't hold it back anymore, so, you know, you better move out of the way, because, you know, pushing the limit, coming relentless, you better believe I'm making no apologies. It's like, I'm not going to apologise for this. Because, you know, this is another one of those common things, just like people that bully you. You know, they don't make any apologies for their behaviour, but as soon as you give them back as good as they've given, suddenly you're the one being out of order. You know, they don't see anything wrong with what they've done to you, but as soon as you do to them exactly what they've been doing to you, then suddenly you're the arsehole. You know, and he's saying, you know, I'm not going to make any apologies. You know, if you get hurt along the way, so be it. You know, because it's what you deserved. You know, because you've done this to me for fucking years, and I've had enough of it. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. Have it. You know. Then it goes back into that chorus. I am the fire, relentless, undying survivor. I am the fire, ready or not, seek shelter in the calm before the storm. Wake me up when I'm done, yeah. If it's not impossible, yeah. Wake me up when I'm done, yeah. If it's not impossible, I must be unstoppable. So I'm not sure what that sort of means there. Wake me up when I'm done, if it's not impossible. So is this like, bring me back to my, you know, after I've gone on my, you know, rampage, as it suggests in the song. It suggests he's going on a rampage, you know, that he's going to let all this emotion explode from him, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. You know, and if you're in the way, it's your own bloody lookout. You know, it suggests there that it's a sort of almost explosive retaliation. You know, so it says, wake me up when I'm done, if it's not impossible. So is that like, try and bring me back to my senses, bring me back to who I was before? It says, if it's not impossible. So there's every chance, you know, that you've unleashed the beast for good. You know, there's every chance that, you know, I'm going to be this relentless motherfucker coming after you from now on. But, you know, after everything is done, you know, try and bring me back to myself. That's what it seems to suggest there. Judge me by the enemies I've made. Trust me, someday's gonna come someday. No regrets because I don't hesitate. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. But you gotta play the game. And then back into that chorus. I am the fire, relentless, undying survivor. I am the fire, ready or not, seek shelter in the calm before the storm. Calm before the storm. Seek shelter in the calm before the storm. So there you go. You know, like I said, it seems to suggest, you know, standing up to and maybe fighting back to things that are trying to knock you down. You know, keep forging forward, become a relentless fire that just pushes forward and burns through everything that's in the way. You know, become the storm. You know, that's, like I said, storms are generally quite violent. You know, we've had quite a few of them here lately. You know, we've had bloody big winds here recently. I'm actually surprised we haven't had any power cuts, because we normally get them quite a lot. But anyway, that's beside the point. You know, he's saying, you know, become the storm, be that relentless force that refuses to be pushed back. You know, and it's a very positive message. Although, like I said, the lyrics sort of suggest a more forceful and aggressive approach to that, whereas the video was a lot more passive in its way. You know, like I said, because the bullies beat him relentlessly throughout the video, but towards the end, you know, he could have just left them there and gone, you know what, it's your own fucking fault, deal with it. But he didn't. You know, he didn't seek revenge, he didn't retaliate. He saw someone in trouble, even if it was the people that were tormenting him, and he thought, I've got to save these people because I am a good man. And that's the way I prefer to be. That's the way I've always been, you know. It doesn't matter what's... Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter what someone does to me. Regardless of what someone has done to me, I don't want to see someone suffer. With maybe one exception. But even then, I don't wish ill on anybody. You know, I've been through some of the worst shit ever, you know. Well, you know, there's obviously people been through worse things than me, but I have been through some incredibly, incredibly bad times. And I wouldn't want to see anybody else go through that. You know, even if they were my worst enemy, I wouldn't want to see them go through that, except with the exception of maybe one person, but that person ruined my life. But even then, I don't even know if I'd wish that on them. Because I'm just not that sort of person. You know, I don't like seeing people suffer. Even if they've been horrendously cruel to me, I don't like seeing people suffer. You know, and I like that, like what the video said. You know, sort of like, regardless of what life throws at you, don't become bitter and jaded and vengeful. And that's something I really, really believe in. Whereas, like I said, the song seems to be more forceful and aggressive. It's saying, like, fight back and, you know, being the storm. It suggests a more aggressive approach. But it still kind of says the same thing, you know. Don't let the bad things in life knock you back. Stand up, forge forward, you know. Don't let anything knock you back. And, you know, it's a good positive message. And I like him. And the actual track itself was very, very good. You know, the performance was very, very good. The music was good. The vocal performance was very, very good. I really quite liked it. I would be curious to check out some more of their stuff. But yeah, I've really, really rambled with this one. So, yeah, I don't know what else I can say on that. So I'll leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like or a subscribe if you haven't already, because it really, really would help this channel out. You know, I've been doing this for about six years now, and you know, not barely even 2% of people watching my videos are actually subscribed, and you know, that's a little disheartening, because I put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, and it's a bit shit. You know, it's a bit disheartening. So, you know, if you could like and subscribe, you know, it takes a fraction of a second and it doesn't cost you anything, and it really, really would help the channel out. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.